All right, finally, Trump and his team have at least admitted one lie, which is that he wrote the response to the Donald Trump Jr. Trump Tower meeting. Before they were denying it. So let me break it all down for you, okay? So during the campaign, this is the famous meeting where Donald Trump Jr. and Manafort and Kushner go meet with a Russian lawyer that the emails told him is connected to the Russian government, and they think that she's got information about Hillary Clinton. This is the one where Donald Trump Jr. says, love it, can't wait to meet with her and get that information. So now when that news broke, they put out a statement about that Trump Tower meeting. Now, there's two different lies. The lie within the statement and the lie about who wrote the statement. So first, the one they're admitting is about who wrote it. So when it first came out, they said, Donald Trump, the president. No, he had nothing to do with writing that at all. Reports saying that he helped to write that or dictated that response are not true. Jay Sekulow, one of his lawyers, went out and said that that report was misinformed and inaccurate. Later, Sarah Huckabee Sanders changed it to, well, Trump might have participated in it, but didn't dictate it. Well, now, this weekend, they finally come out and said, yeah, Donald Trump wrote it. He dictated it. And it's obvious that Mueller has someone in the meeting that had clear testimony that was going to say that Trump had written the letter and dictated it. So they finally changed it so that they're not committing perjury if Trump ever has to testify, right? So one of my favorite things of all time was Rudy Giuliani this weekend, when asked about it, said, well, I mean, this is why we don't want him to testify, because why? The sentence should logically end with, because he lies all the time, right? No, he said, we don't want him to testify because our recollections are changing all the time. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, your recollection changes when we find out that you were initially lying about it, and now we can prove it, right? So shouldn't your recollection have been better back then when you first wrote the reaction in the first place? No, back then you actually had the biggest lie. Now you finally admit the truth, and that's because your recollection didn't change. The evidence we got on you changed. Now finally, to go back to the lie within the letter. So they claimed this meeting that Donald Trump Jr., Manafort, Kushner, the whole campaign had with the Russians, that was just about an adoption story. Had nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, had nothing to do with the secret information we're going to get from the Russians or that we were promised. Of course that's preposterous. The adoptions was the retaliation that the Russians did for the sanctions we did on their oligarchs. The sanctions we did on their oligarchs has everything to do with the heart of this case, which is the collusion and then, of course, later obstruction of justice. So they still haven't admitted, they realized that they can't keep up that adoption lie anymore, because we got Donald Trump Jr.'s emails that clearly showed that it was not just about adoption. So now that lie has been disproven. They can't, of course, say that they actually received the information. And to be fair, we don't yet know, it has not yet been conclusively proven that the Trump administration campaign at the time, the Trump campaign, took the information from the Russians and used it, right? They were offered the information. They were super psyched about being offered the information. We know all of that. Whether they actually took it and used it is a different matter that has not been proven yet. But it has been proven that the meeting was not just about adoptions, total lie. And it has been proven that the statement that had that lie in it was in fact dictated by the president. So that's what they admitted over the weekend, and at least we know that for now. And on everything else, you never know what the reality is, because their recollections are constantly changing. So you never know what they're going to realize. That turns out that was a lie too. Now that you got evidence on it, our recollection on it changed. So that's what happened this weekend. So